guys, so today's video is going to be a story time video. I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience working for Apple. So if you didn't know, or if you're new to my channel, I worked for Apple for almost 2 years. This was back in 2012. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the hiring process. I applied to work at an Apple store that was in a mall. I applied on their website and then I didn't hear anything back from them for like 2 months. I got an email inviting me to go to something that they call the hiring event. And actually I made a video talking specifically about this hiring event, and I believe it's still up on my channel. I think it's private. I will insert it into this video. This video is from 2011, so I'm gonna look a little different. Quality is going to be not so great, but basically it'll give you the gist of what the hiring event is like. So I got there a little bit early and I went and I sat, there were a bunch of couches in front of the store, and I went and sat down. People soon started joining me, sitting around the couches with me, and we chatted it up a little bit, and I soon noticed that I was the only girl out of 11 guys. So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, this increases my chances, I'm the only girl, yeah. 5 minutes to 7, all the employees came to the front of the store. They turned the music up super duper loud. If you've ever been to an Apple store on a launch day, you know how they like turn the music up really loud and they're all like excited and they clap. Well, that's exactly what they were doing. So they opened up the doors, they were all clapping, hooting, hollering, and then the guy who ran the thing told us to grab a piece of paper, fill it out, and then grab a marker and make your own name tag. So I went and I filled out the paper. They just wanted to know basic information about yourself. They wanted to know which job I was interested in. I had to tell them about my best customer service experience that I'd ever had at Apple, and they also wanted to know how many Apple products that I owned. Then I went to make my name tag, and this was me. Ooh, I'm gonna choose the pink marker, make my name all pretty and pink.
Put your name tags on your left shoulder.
Left shoulder? Okay, like, is that the front or the back? I'm assuming the back. Everyone else is putting theirs on their back. Okay, I can do this. My left shoulder. Can you help me with this? No? Okay, you're not even paying attention to me. I spent like 5 minutes trying to put my friggin' name tag on, like trying to figure out why we needed it on our left shoulder in the back. Like, I was just super confused. After everyone was done filling out the paperwork, they then instructed us to go to the back of the store and have a seat on a bunch of stools that they had lined up. As we were walking to the back of the store, we had all these employees around us. They were clapping, hooting and hollering, like, yeah, get excited, yeah. So I was like, yeah, this is great, this is so much fun. So then we all sat down, and the gentleman that was running the show basically, talked to us a little bit. He told us basically what was going to happen throughout the night. He introduced us to all of the store employees that there were. There were probably like 10 to 12 store employees. They were all male, which I thought was kind of odd. There were no females. And then we watched a video. And while I watched the video, all the employees stood behind us. And there were 2 that stood at the front, and I noticed that throughout watching the movie, they kept looking at us, like, to make sure we were paying attention to the movie, and they were like jotting down notes, and yeah, basically they were watching our every move. So then we got separated into different areas of the store, and each group had 2 employees with us, and basically they just asked us questions, and we had to go around the group and answer the questions. They were just basic questions about ourselves, like, what do you like to do for fun? What's your favorite color? So after doing that for like 10 or 15 minutes, they got the iPads out, and they were so excited about this. They were going to ask us more in-depth questions, but instead of them verbally asking us, they were on the iPad, and we got to hand the iPad around the group and swipe our own question. It was so cool. We then went back and sat on our stools and watched another movie. After that video, the gentleman leading the event gave us some history on Apple and some history of the products.
Can anyone tell me where the Apple headquarters is located?
Cupertino, California.
When did the first iPhone come out?
June 29th, 2007. I waited in line for it. Woo! Sorry. For the history lesson on Apple, we then had the chance to ask some of the employees some questions, and a bunch of people asked them, what they like about their job, what they don't like about their job, and we kind of got to know them a little bit better. We got to know their roles a little bit better. Before sending us on our way, they told us that someone would contact us within 24 to 48 hours and tell us we were either a no for now, which a no for now is still a good thing, or they would tell us that they wanted us to come in for a second interview. After I went to the hiring event, I heard back, I don't remember if it was the next day or the day after, and they invited me back to have a one-on-one interview with the store manager. So I was really excited about that. I went to the interview, and the interview wasn't inside of the store. We actually walked around the mall. We sat down at one point and talked, but the majority of the interview was us walking around the mall and talking. So I had my interview with her, and I thought that it went okay. She was very hard to read. So after that interview, a couple days went by and I didn't hear anything, and then I got an email saying that they had decided to pursue other candidates. Thank you for your time, but you know, right now you're not what we're looking for. So I was like, okay. So I emailed them back and I asked if they could tell me, you know, specifics, because I felt like it was just very vague. They didn't tell me the reasons why. It was just kind of like, okay, thank you for your time. We're choosing someone else. I wanted to know maybe what I had done wrong, if there was something about me that they didn't like, you know, something like that, because that would have definitely been helpful for me. After some emailing back and forth, I was finally able to meet with the store manager again. And I talked to her, and I don't remember exactly what she told me. I wish I could remember that interview, but basically she just said that there were other people more qualified than me. At the time, I didn't have a college degree, so I think that that could have been one of the factors as to why they didn't hire me at that point, because everyone else that was in the hiring event had college degrees. So I think that that was one of the reasons. Very, very nice, and she ended up telling me to apply back again in a couple of months. So fast forward to March of 2012. This was October of 2011, by the way. Did I even specify the time frame? I don't think I did. Okay, so fast forward to March 2012. I contacted them by email and asked if there were any open positions, because I'm definitely interested. And then the ball got rolling. I ended up having a total of 7 interviews, I think it was. 6 or 7 interviews. I interviewed with different managers. I interviewed with the same manager a couple of times. But yeah, it was 6 or 7 interviews, and then they finally hired me. I was so excited. I was so proud of myself, because I knew that, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I am very passionate about Apple products. I know Apple products. I'm really good with people. I knew that I would have been a perfect fit to work for Apple. And I'm glad that they finally saw that. I started officially working for Apple in April of 2012. And when you first get hired, you go to something called Core. This Core training was at a different location. It wasn't at the store. It was at a hotel, actually. And it was a lot of like group work. They gave us like this workbook, just a lot of like reading and interacting and like role playing, which I absolutely hate. I hate role playing. So yeah, so after that, we officially graduated from Core, and I was able to work in the store. So when you're first working in the store, they don't let you work alone. They have somebody shadow you. You can reverse shadow someone. But basically you're not left alone until both you and your mentor are confident that you'll be okay alone. So I think it was only a couple days for me. I think it was like 2 days, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to work alone. I didn't like having someone over my shoulder, like listening to my every move. It just felt like my interactions with customers weren't genuine, just because like someone was watching me. I understand the concept of it, but it just felt very strange to me. So things were going good. You know, I worked in a mall store. I worked retail hours, mostly nights and weekends. Things were going good, but then the hours started to take a toll on me. It was really hard because I have a family and I didn't live close to the store, so I was commuting. I would get home late. Retail hours just suck. I mean, I knew that they were going to be sucky hours going into it, and I thought that I could make it work, but that is ultimately one of the reasons why I left Apple, was because of the hours. I would say that I worked there about a year before I was able to get a weekend day off, and I got Sundays off. Launch days were crazy, really crazy. One day I worked like 14 hours. No, it was close to like 16 hours one day. But yeah, launch days were crazy, but they were so much fun. Those are my favorite days working at Apple, launch days, because everyone was just in such a great mood. I mean, yeah, it was stressful as hell because it was crazy busy, but everyone was just in such a great mood. You know, there were new products. The atmosphere was just a lot of fun. Apple is a very secretive company. I do want to debunk one thing though. A lot of people think that the people that work for Apple know when new products are coming out, or they know inside information. I would get so many people
pretty much daily come in and say to me, I know you know when the next iPhone's coming out, tell me when it's coming out. And it's like, I don't, I really don't. Like, Apple employees find out about new products when the general public does, and that is 100% true. Nobody gets inside information. So if you go to Apple and you ask them a question and you think that they're lying to you about what they know, they're probably not. Another thing about Apple is we weren't allowed to wear Apple shirts outside of the store, so I couldn't like get dressed, put on my Apple shirt, and walk into work with the Apple shirt, the Apple logo showing. I had to be covered up. The pay, so a lot of people ask about the pay. It is hourly, and it is very good for hourly. At least I got paid very, very well for it being a retail hourly position. I'm not gonna tell you guys how much I made because it's none of your business, but it was a lot more than mall employees got paid. Let's just say that. My job, did I even tell you guys what I did? No, I didn't. So I got hired as a specialist, which is like the first level, I guess. There's specialist, there's genius, there's expert, there's family room members. There's all kinds of different roles, but I was a specialist. So I was the person that when you walk in the store, you know, I'm trying to sell you a computer. I did a lot of troubleshooting. So if somebody came in and they're like, hey, my phone's not working, and I could tell right away what was wrong with the phone, if I knew that I could fix it, I would fix it instead of making them a Genius Bar appointment and having them wait and go through all that. But also part of my role was called setup. Setup is just an area that you go to. It's optional, but basically you go to it after you buy a new device, after you buy a new computer, iPhone or iPad. I would help people set up their devices. That was a headache because, you know, sometimes we would run into the issue, people would try to be transferring things from their old phone to their new phone, and we did have devices that did that, but sometimes if you got a really old phone, it was really hard to transfer stuff. And then Apple IDs and people remembering their passwords. Oh, I cringe when I think about having to reset someone's Apple ID. You go to reset it, it asks for security questions, and they don't remember the answers to their security questions, and you're like, that happened daily, multiple times daily. I would always cringe when somebody would come in to setup and they would have a notebook with questions, because setup was made to be like a 15-minute experience, if that. It wasn't a teach me how to use this device 100%. It was a set up the device, get them going so they're comfortable using it, and then if they have more in-depth questions, then you invite them back for a training session or a workshop. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people wanted their device to be set up. They wanted to 100% know everything about it, know how to use it, do everything, and so that was frustrating. Another part of my job, well, was supposed to be part of my job, was operator. And what operator is it's somebody that sits in the back of the store, is on a computer, and answers the phone. I never had to do that. I always got out of doing that. I just never wanted to be operator because I didn't want to work at Apple just to sit in the back room and answer the phone and talk to people on the phone. Like, I didn't want to do that. Luckily, we had a girl that loved being operator, so every time like I was scheduled for it, I'd be like, hey, you wanna do operator for me? Because I don't want to talk on the phone all day. I want to talk to people face to face. So yeah, I luckily got out of doing that. I never once had to do operator in the almost 2 years that I worked there. Overall, I really enjoyed my time working at Apple. Apple is an amazing, amazing company to work for. I learned things that I will take with me forever, just in regards to interacting with people. But yeah, overall, I really, really enjoyed working for Apple. The things that got to me were the hours. There were also a few other things regarding like benefits and like full-time, part-time stuff. I was never full-time, but I was working full-time hours, just that kind of stuff, which really got to me. I had a lot of fun working for Apple. I met some really amazing people, like the people that I worked with, people I still keep in contact with. There were some really amazing customers. There were some absolute asshole customers. Never in a job have I had so many people degrade me and just be really mean to me. People get very passionate when their personal devices are broken, your phone's not working, when your computer's not working. People get very upset and they'll take their anger out on anyone and blame anyone, like it's my fault that you dropped your computer. Okay. One thing that I really did not understand is Apple is all about appearance. as far as their products and their store goes. Every night, I would close a lot, so every night we would take an hour and we would clean every device, we would sanitize every device, we would make sure every phone case was lined up properly, we would make sure every charger was pulled to the front, the computers had to be angled at a certain angle. So Apple was very, very, very strict with their store appearance, the way the store looked, the way the products looked, but they really didn't care what the employees looked like. Because I work with some people that would literally roll out of bed and come to work. Regarding the dress code, really the only thing that you had to do was wear your blue shirt or your red shirt if it was holiday. But now I think, oh my gosh, I haven't been in an Apple store in literally years. But now I think they're different colors, and they're t-shirts too. I worked there, the shirts were of kind of like a polo shirt materials. They were very nice. I actually still have all my Apple shirts. Really the only dress code was we had to wear our shirts. You know, you could wear jeans, you could wear skirts, you could wear shorts. Our shoes, we could wear pretty much anything for shoes. We could wear flip-flops. I never understood that, why Apple cared so much about the way their products look, but really didn't care what the employees look like. I think that is it for this video. Like I said, if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer regarding working at Apple, getting hired by Apple, feel free to leave them down below and I will answer them in a different video. That is it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys in my next video.